In a modest home in Cairo, where the hustle of the city merges with the rhythm of daily life, the kitchen buzzed with activity. Our young heroine, recently married, was focused on preparing dinner, her mother-in-law hovering nearby with a sharp, critical eye. Too much salt. Can't you do anything right? My son deserves a competent wife, the mother-in-law snapped. I'm doing my best. This is how my family makes it, the heroine responded, trying to keep her frustration in check. Well, your family's ways won't work here. You should be thankful I'm here to guide you, her mother-in-law retorted, dismissive. Before the heroine could reply, her husband walked in, tired but smiling at the sight of his wife. Smells wonderful, habite. How was your day? He asked warmly. His mother quickly interjected before she could answer. She'd be lost without my help. Have you spoken to Dr. Shaheen about her condition? The husband's smile faltered, replaced by discomfort. Mother, we've been through this. It's not her fault. These things take time. 2 years of marriage and no children. In my day, this was unheard of. She needs to see another specialist. What will people say? The mother-in-law insisted, her voice rising with concern and a hint of accusation. The heroine's hands trembled slightly as she tried to focus on her cooking. Noticing her discomfort, her husband gently suggested, let's not talk about this now. Dinner looks great. Let's just enjoy the meal. They moved to the dining table, but an uneasy silence settled over them. The mother-in-law's critical gaze lingered, making the heroine increasingly self-conscious. When I was your age, I managed the whole household and looked after my family. It's time you learned to do the same, the mother-in-law said pointedly. I'm trying my best. It's just a bit overwhelming at times. The heroine replied softly, avoiding eye contact. Her husband reached out, offering her a comforting smile. Mama, please, she's doing well. Let's enjoy the meal. Dinner continued under a cloud of unspoken tensions. The husband offered his wife supportive glances, which she returned with a weak smile, while the mother-in-law ate with an air of disapproval. Later that night, the heroine lay awake, her thoughts a storm of love, duty, and growing isolation. I need to be strong for us, for our future, she whispered to herself, staring into the darkness. Moonlight streamed through the curtains, casting a gentle glow across the room, highlighting her determined expression. In this household, she was caught in a web not of her making, yet despite the challenges, her spirit remained unbroken. Unbeknownst to her, this was just the beginning of a journey that would test her strength and resilience. As dawn broke, she rose with renewed resolve. Though the new day brought no promises, she was prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In her heart, a quiet rebellion began to stir. Months later, in the same home, a new chapter unfolded. It was early morning, and the house was quiet except for the soft cries of a newborn. Exhausted yet filled with joy, the heroine cradled her daughter, a beautiful baby with striking blue eyes and golden hair. As the first light of day filtered in, the door creaked open, and her mother-in-law entered, her eyes narrowing at the sight of the child. Blue eyes and yellow hair. That's unusual, isn't it? She remarked, suspicion lacing her tone. Genetics can be surprising. She's beautiful, isn't she? The heroine responded, her voice steady despite her rising anxiety. The mother-in-law scoffed. In our family, I've never seen such features. You need to explain this. The heroine's husband entered, his face lighting up at the sight of his daughter. But his mother's words stopped him. Look at the child. She looks nothing like us. Do you believe this child is yours? She demanded coldly. His gaze shifted between his mother and wife, his face a mixture of confusion and hurt. She's our daughter. Why would you even say that? He asked, his voice trembling. Open your eyes. She's been deceiving you. This child isn't yours. She's been unfaithful, the mother-in-law accused, her words cutting deep. The heroine, holding her baby closer, felt tears welling up. That's not true. How can you say such things? But the mother-in-law was relentless. I've seen the way you talk to the men in the market, always smiling, always too friendly. It's clear now. You've brought shame to our family. The husband, torn and confused, looked at his wife, his eyes searching desperately for answers. Is it true? Were you with someone else? He stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. I would never. How can you even ask that? The heroine responded, her voice breaking. The mother-in-law smirked, sensing her victory. You need to make a decision, son. This woman or your family's honor. The scene shifted to the living room, where the heroine, clutching her baby, pleaded with her husband. Please, you know me. You know I'd never betray you. Sheck, your daughter, our daughter, she implored, tears streaming down her face. But the seed of doubt had been planted. The husband, struggling with his emotions, finally spoke. I can't. I can't be part of this lie. I need time. I need to think. The heroine watched in disbelief as he walked out, leaving her alone with the baby and the triumphant mother-in-law. Pack your things. You're no longer welcome here. My son will file for divorce, the mother-in-law declared, her voice void of sympathy. Days passed in a blur, and the heroine found herself moving in with her impoverished mother. Her heart was heavy with the weight of injustice and betrayal. Her mother, a gentle woman worn by time, opened her arms and home, offering solace in the storm. You did nothing wrong, my child. This is their loss, not yours, her mother consoled, holding her and the baby close. The heroine looked down at her daughter, her small face innocent to the world's cruelties. I won't let this break me. For her, I'll rebuild our lives, she vowed, a newfound determination lighting up her tear-stained face. As one chapter closed, the heroine stood at the window, gazing out at the bustling streets of Cairo. The world moved on, unaware of her plight, but in her heart, a quiet strength began to grow. This was not the end, but a new beginning, a journey toward healing and reclaiming her life. In a modest apartment in a less affluent part of Cairo, the heroine, now a single mother, busied herself with the routine of daily life. Her daughter, a beacon of innocence and joy, played on the floor. The heroine's mother, a woman of quiet strength, watched over them, her eyes reflecting a mix of pride and concern. Mom, I got the job. We'll be okay, the heroine announced, a hint of relief in her voice. Her mother smiled warmly. I knew you would. You're stronger than you realize. Meanwhile, in a more upscale part of the city, the ex-husband's home was bustling with preparations for a family gathering. His new wife, a cousin chosen by his mother, moved about the house, ensuring everything was perfect. In a quiet corner, the ex-husband appeared lost in thought, his mind elsewhere. His mother approached him, her voice filled with faint concern. You seem troubled. Is everything all right? She asked. He hesitated before speaking. It's nothing. Just work. But his mother, sensing his unease, probed deeper. It's about her, isn't it? You need to forget her. You have a new wife now, a better one. He nodded, though his heart wasn't in it. The conversation was interrupted by the new wife, who whispered something to the mother-in-law, unaware of the ex-husband's proximity. Everything is going as planned. He's still upset about her, but he'll get over it. We did the right thing pushing her out, she said smugly. The mother-in-law nodded approvingly. Yes, we did. It was for the best. He'll see that in time. The ex-husband, overhearing their words, felt a surge of shock and anger. He confronted them, his voice trembling with emotion. What did you do? What are you talking about? The two women exchanged nervous glances, the facade of innocence quickly crumbling. It was for your own good. She wasn't right for you. We had to make sure you saw that, the mother-in-law tried to justify. You lied. You made me believe she was unfaithful, he stammered, disbelief etched across his face. The new wife interjected. She was holding you back. We did you a favor. He recoiled, as if struck, the realization of their deceit hitting him hard. Without another word, he stormed out, leaving the two women in stunned silence. Back at the heroine's apartment, the evening brings a quiet comfort. The heroine tucks her daughter into bed, softly singing a lullaby. Her mother watches from the doorway, a gentle smile on her lips. Sleep well, little one. Your mother is here, the heroine whispers, kissing her daughter's forehead. After ensuring her daughter is sound asleep, she joins her mother in the living room. They sit together in companionable silence, each lost in thought. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever get over it. The betrayal, the heroine confesses, her voice barely a whisper. Her mother reaches out, taking her hand. In time you will. Pain fades, but the strength it gives you lasts forever. The scene shifts to the next day, where the ex-husband stands outside the apartment building, regret and determination etched on his face. He hesitates before pressing the buzzer, his heart racing. The heroine, surprised to see him, cautiously opens the door. Why are you here? she asks, her voice guarded. I need to talk to you. I've learned the truth, he begins, his eyes pleading for understanding. She listens, her expression carefully neutral, as he pours out his heart, explaining the deceit and manipulation by his mother and new wife. I'm so sorry. I should have trusted you. I should have seen through their lies, he finishes, his voice filled with remorse. The heroine, her emotions swirling, takes a moment to process his words. I appreciate your apology, but it changes nothing. Too much has happened, she responds, her voice steady yet soft. He nods, the weight of his actions heavy in his eyes. I understand. I needed you to know I regret it all. As he leaves, the heroine closes the door, leaning against it. Her emotions are raw, but her resolve remains unshaken. In a cozy cafe in Cairo, filled with the buzz of conversation and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the heroine sits across from a friend. Her face reflects the journey she has endured. Nearby, her daughter's laughter fills the air, a sweet melody that lightens her heart. You've come so far. I'm so proud of you, her friend says, admiration shining in her eyes. It's been a long road, but I'm finally feeling like myself again. The heroine replies, a soft smile gracing her lips. Have you heard from him recently? Her friend inquires gently. A shadow passes over the heroine's face. He came by last week, asking for forgiveness. But it's too late for that now. The scene shifts to the heroine's mother's apartment. The heroine, full of love and care, tends to her daughter. He said he was sorry, that he knew he'd been wrong. But some things can't be undone, she confides in her mother. Her mother nods, understanding in her eyes. You're doing the right thing. You and your daughter deserve the best. Later, at a park, the heroine and her daughter are playing, their laughter echoing through the trees. From a distance, the ex-husband watches them, regret and longing etched on his face. Slowly, he approaches, uncertainty in his steps. Can we talk? He asks, his voice hesitant. The heroine looks at him, or stands firm. There's nothing left to say. You made your choice. I was wrong. I see that now. I want to be a part of your lives, he pleads, desperation in his eyes. You were a part of our lives. You chose to leave. We've moved on, she responds, her voice calm but resolute. He steps back, the finality of her words sinking in. I just wanted you to know how sorry I am. The heroine watches him walk away, her heart heavy but her resolve unwavering. She turns back to her daughter, her smile returning as she scoops her up in her arms. As the sun sets, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the heroine stands on her mother's balcony, her daughter nestled close. She gazes out over the city, her eyes reflecting a deep inner peace. You're my world, little one. Together we'll make our own way, she whispers, kissing her daughter's forehead. The narrator's voice speaks as the scene fades to the Cairo skyline at dusk. In this final chapter, our heroine emerges not just as a survivor, but as a beacon of strength and resilience. She has faced betrayal and heartache, yet she stands taller, her spirit unbroken. This isn't just a tale of overcoming adversity, it's a testament to the power of a woman's will to rebuild her life on her own terms. The story closes with the image of the heroine and her daughter silhouetted against the evening sky, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. In their world, they have triumphed over the past, ready to embrace a future full of possibilities.